picked up their prize yet.
Really?
That's not even corresponding to us. So, I don't know what regulations we should be following. Because I don't know we identify, we've never had anybody not pick up the prize after they won. My thought is, I
Cool,
said,
what?
the diamond ring. Oh, the charity. And my thought is that they may be waiting until after the first year because there'll be a winner's tax.
No, that might be.
I've seen that happen before.
Yeah.
I worked at radio station in Kansas City.
People don't understand that. You know, that you win something like that, you're gonna pay taxes on it,
Oh, yeah.
and they don't get it.
About 2/3
Yeah, we are.
or 6,
Yeah.
35.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't be hard to see, you know, $60,000.
Yeah.
Guess what? You're paying taxes.
Oh, yeah. All these prices right, or I don't know. Wheel of Fortune.
Uh-huh. Well, Wheel of Fortune, at least you get cash.
Sometimes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you win the new car. but
Yeah. So. Yeah.
People make all the plans, spend all the big money, and then don't realize you gotta pay taxes.
Yes, it's stupid. And it might be like you win $1 million, it might be over so many years. You know, like you
Oh,
choose
yeah.
out of the lottery.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be over 20, I think you spread it out now, it's 25.
Actually, I just heard 29.
29?
The lottery, someone won 1.2 billion in
Yeah,
California,
California.
and it can be spread over 29 years.
Yep.
And, you know, if you're our age, would you want to spread it over 20
I'll tell you, they're gonna pay me every damn dime.
Yeah. Well, in some cases, though, it does, your heirs can't inherit.
If you, I think that if you claim the prize, you don't have to claim it personally, if you claim the prize as a foundation, corporation, hey Christie, something like that,
Sleeves. Ooh, it's chilly.
Yeah.
then it just keeps
Well,
going around.
foundation just bought me a house.
Yeah,
You know, I
yeah.
can see that. I don't know.
No, they're gonna pay me every damn dime.
There you go. I
Can't
think-
get my 20 cents anymore?
No,
Well, now we're talking about the mega winner out in California.
Can you imagine?
Well, you take up to 500 some million.
Yeah, my
Hey.
You know, I
but,
think I'd be
but that's before taxes.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
They're gonna get you, one way or the other.
That's before taxes.
Is Todd coming in at all, please?
I think so.
I knew there was something different about your teeth, you shake off your beard.
I did.
You kept your mustache.
I did. Got tired of it.
I'm envious, I can't grow facial hairs.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, mine just grew a little bit on the inside.
Yeah, I just handed it to you.
Okay, I didn't.
Minimum maintenance resolution, we've never done that.
And this is the resolution on closing that one.
Yes,
I
we
really
tabled that until this week. Minutes,
No. That's easy.
I think that's it.
Okay. Expenses for KAC. I didn't guarantee before the last.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I think that was it.
We will add them on to the bills. Aaron will have bills for you guys to look at today too.
Perfect.
Because as soon as I get that one, then I'm gonna start on transfers and stuff.
So we can close out this year.
Yes.
That'll be on this.
Are you all caught up with wildlanders? Every time I say, "Dang."
You have to ask him.
What I told him was most likely when you have an employee from the county who goes in and takes a part, they don't take it directly to the road bridge office. It takes a while for it to be processed. So that's what I explained to him. It's the only thing I can say.
Only thing I'm gonna tell him is bring him directly to us.
Yeah, but yes.
You can email them to us, fax them
Okay.
to us, or walk across the street with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Where again? 13?
8:15.
8:15. Okay.
There's nothing that says noon, because I read it, but I don't know, I can't do it that way.
We're going to do 8:15, so you don't show up at all.
8:14.
Okay.
Yep, I thought I would, that would be my last day, but it's 8:15.
I'm shaking the machine.
8:15 on the 13th.
8:15 on 13th. What's 13th?
Monday swearing in.
Oh, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I could have sworn that we've been talking about the 20th.
Well, that's the presidential. And that congressional
Yeah.
presidential. And that. Yeah, had a nice weekend, long weekend, and then come back for one day and off tomorrow. And the next.
Yep. Well, officially, I
will recycle the calendar.
Pretty good. Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good. You might get rained on.
We'll be long done before that.
Okay.
Is this supposed to rain?
Yeah. And if I did, it won't be the first time.
If you want to.
I asked you, you were related to Gary. Is that
Yes.
different?
Spelled with an I. They're spelled with an
But you're not related?
I. No.
Okay. Because they were all Boilermakers.
Yes, there is Boilermaker.
Gary was my boss in Nebraska City, his dad was the general foreman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I worked up there during college break.
Yeah.
There's a cold plant right there on the Missouri River,
Oh, yeah.
and that's the coldest I've ever been. So I was out in the field. But I always worked out precipitators, or in the field.
Yeah.
Hello.
Morning. How you doing?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Christie, did I ask you last week if we sent IT Pathways a letter, an official letter, letting them know that Tim no longer is, they, okay.
sweated out for work.
You guys have a good Christmas?
Yes, how about you?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Kids are all.
Yeah, because we put the date in,
Yeah, I think this,
vote on it, and then people
yeah,
review
I don't
it.
quite understand.
you do this, and
Misspelling.
then you do what they.
What's that supposed to say?
So what you like with that, so otherwise we have no hearing. So we'll have to protect this.
Yeah.
What we do,
Fine, pass that through.
until we've had here, because it's a process.
Any person wishing to do such a at the conclusion of such
See if you got your
the board shall
26.
determine which road.
I got it.
You got it.
Described as such resolution. So this is the resolution declaring that this is what we want to do, and then you're gonna have the hearing.
And then a list will be, so we can add or take away from the list.
Right.
If somebody needs.
So if somebody says they don't want this one, this one, but we'll have to do that in January now, because you're not gonna have time to do it.
Right. Yeah, put that on the, get it with the, I guess, we can do that then.
You wanna have a hearing on next minute?
So, that's a reason we can.
Okay, I'll check with Todd.
I'm assuming it's swap it out and, I think that's what it is, swap it out and legal paper.
Like that.
I like the analytics.
Good morning,
Hey,
Dave.
Nick.
How are you?
How are you?
Good. Where are your friends?
No idea.
I think Keith ran them off.
Not
Good for you.
equally.
You don't wanna say anything.
Yeah.
Don't bring it up.
Actually, he said something. Resonated finally. They jumped on him about something, he countered back.
Well, I think the filming, I think filming Justin and versus water.
Well, they use, in my broadcast law experience, disseminating and copyright infringement on using the music bed on the Three Stooges. They probably didn't have permission and or paid for. That is something to look into. So, anyway, just my opinion.
Didn't stop on the meter until 9:45, 10 o'clock.
Let's talk.
Or top, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's stuff that's kind of shows up.
I got 9 o'clock, so we'll open with pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fire Sheriff Department.
different about him.
Like Oxford. Yeah, you cracked me up. So what's new?
I'm gonna be a grandfather.
Well, congratulations.
Having that over, all of that. June, July.
Very cool. How many grandchildren?
That'll be number 2.
I'll loan you some if you want.
It's from the daughter that said she's never had kids.
I was just gonna ask you that.
Never say no.
We're in Central River. Yeah.
Oh,
Couple of these,
these are,
promotion and
Yep.
information. Went ahead and, Steve this morning.
okay.
Didn't remember a lot of what we talked about.
Okay. All right.
Some of the things we covered last week about that trash down on 110 on 10 Road.
Yes.
Spoke with Matt this morning, he forgot about it, so he's gonna be able to take care of it today.
You know, I asked the landowner, they said, what can we do about it? I asked the landowner, I said, put up a deer camp on your property, just watch the river. Their response was, we don't deer hunt, and we don't allow people to deer hunt.
Okay, that doesn't make much sense, but, all right.
I'm not sure how a sign probably is not going to deter someone from throwing trash out in the other.
We deal with that every year.
Is that an area where you have trouble with people dumping?
Not too bad. Seems like down along the county line, more on the.
She
west
believes
side.
it's coming out of Shawnee County because it's only half a mile off Shawnee County line. My other thought was to maybe, I know the sheriff has some cameras, and maybe we would ask him to put one on their property in a tree.
Well, that's what I was wondering, if they have trouble with it there, then yeah, maybe we ought to get law enforcement involved and have to start watching a little bit more.
Haven't been done enough to dump anything for a neighborhood, have they?
Well, that's what I was
We
wondering.
used to get running into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This stuff, I think what she indicated to me was, it was, maybe a cooler and it was, washing machine, couch, that type of
well,
thing.
if the washing machine, there's always serial numbers on the washing machines, if they were,
Right.
if they registered it for a warning,
But
there you go,
anyway, so,
yeah.
I mean, if it gets to be more of a problem where they're,
Like I said, it didn't have too often, but it's down in that order.
we can talk to the,
It's most likely coming from another county, which we thought before.
Yeah, because we ended up, we hit that one time, we had like 30 tires, so they dumped down there also.
Their serial numbers on tires, too.
He's the man that knows.
I'm just saying.
He's the man that knows.
The area we had, 238 east of T was completed. The W4, 178 road, we went and looked at that and called it about closing it. About,
What, did you find anything that says it's still a road, that it's a minimum maintenance road, is anything?
it's grass.
Oh, I know,
And it's,
but officially, has it ever been
we
anything done
never
with it?
found anything on that.
Okay.
we're
We're
gonna officially close it today.
Okay.
So if we vote on that resolution, we have a resolution to do so. So that would mean that someone from Road and Bridge will have to go out and put 2 posts in the ground and barbed wire. I wouldn't spend money on real gate. But we probably have to put a small sign on one post saying this minimum maintenance road is big close. I hate spending even one dime on stuff like that because nobody even knows it's a minimum
Right.
maintenance. to
Well,
begin
when
with.
Matt and I drove out there, we had called you guys, This thing looks like it's going into a pasture.
It does.
Yeah.
Farmer's lane, looks like a lane.
So that individual then who owns that ground on the south side, he can run his fence up to your post, or our, the county's post, and he can start grazing. That's, they're wanting to put cattle in there, that's what started the whole thing. And we should probably, out of courtesy, send both landowners, the one on the north and the one on the south, an official
Yes.
letter letting them know that we have closed that to the public.
Yep, I agree.
That gentleman, Chris Gordon, he's called us many times and talked about
From
it.
Delia?
Huh?
In the Delia area?
Yeah. I
He's the
think
fire chief down
he may be under Jimmy
He
Bruce
is.
sometime.
there. He is today,
Okay.
but it's to talk about, fire department
Okay.
stuff. Does he have a problem with these roads?
He does.
Okay.
He's runs a business down there, he's got a logging business where he cuts wood, he has log trucks coming in and out. He's wanting us to come in, well, first he's wanting some rock done and all those trees off 1.6 and, K Road, which is, it has, but we expect that to pile in.
Okay.
Down there at 102 and G, at the intersection there, he's wanting us to widen that out so semis can turn and come up through there. He's also wanting us to widen the road out in front of his house so semis can turn to go in there. And I see nothing that we can do for him.
No.
To me, the intersection there is good enough for traffic. If we were to do this for him, you're talking about tube extension, possible right of way.
We can do it at
drive.
his expense,
Yes.
but I don't think he'll like the, and I don't have a problem with having that conversation today with him. I mean, we can't go widening the roads and intersections,
Because he wants to run a business.
right, to get semis. Is his property zoned for a business, you know, of that sort? So, that would be my first question.
Yeah.
Is be careful what you wish for, you know? Chris is a nice guy, but, I mean, he's a good guy, does a great job with the fire department.
We had a situation like this a couple, 3 years ago. The precedence was set on the northeastern part of the county where the gentleman wanted us to wind it because the semi is going in T to a T. We said then, no, we can't. County not gonna pay for it.
So we've already looked at it and kind of made a decision there.
Okay.
Going on for things we got going on this week, we've got, well, we've got 3 fuel barrels moved last week. The entrance that we're gonna do at X4 and 326, it was too muddy to get in there and do anything with it last week. 246 W to X, we're gonna do some digging, again, it's too muddy. Still got some mulching going on down at I and 100 Road, around 100. They'll hopefully get in to do some ditching this week at 162 and O, Q. And putting the sandwich in 3 of the trucks today. You never know.
Are we out actively or have our blade operators actively looking for spots, with the rains and stuff that are just mud holes and things?
They should always be doing that. But right now, we're not hauling her off.
Right, right. So I just hope they're making a list of some of those spots. I've noticed some spots that even with the smallest of rain, like what we got the other day, I think we had 9 tenths of an inch. And there was a road that I was on, it was grease.
Yeah.
And it was only for about 50 yards or less. And then it was back.
Well, I came down 106 last week too, and, we did that work down there from the E to G down there. And then when we did K Road, they went to the west with that, a couple miles, rocking it. So we got why didn't we just go ahead and finish that? And that whole area is done, so that's something I'm gonna talk to them about too. So all I got except for executive session, I'd like to go into, now is personnel.
How many minutes?
Not long, about 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Hang on, I'm not thinking.
Yeah, Mark's got the script.
Move to go into executive session for personnel matters, non-elected personnel for the Prairie for, how long,
10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting at 9:13. Reopen this location 10 minutes later with Christy Scott, commissioners, for the purposes of, what would,
Job performance.
job performance.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. And that was the whole key right there, is getting the piece of the puzzle that's gonna say that we've been touting, that's gonna save us the money, is the paperwork part.
Have not seen that.
Okay. So we'll table the purchase order still.
We need to, at some point, like sit down and have a work session where we just go over the budget for 25, where we've never redeveloped that spreadsheet where Road and Bridge knows what they have to spend on all the different
Yes.
accounts. And so we need to have a work session where we can sit down, go over these, this, and on a, how we're going to approach that, so that you know on a daily or weekly basis how much money you have to be able to spend on items. Yes.
My suggestion is after the 15th, after you pay all your bills, call me and tell me you want a budget report, then I can teach you how to do it. And I will go down line item by line item, you can get a long one, and you can get a short one, and the short one's going to show you the percentage that you see on each line item. And then you can back that to your signature sheet. I think that might be less confusing.
But the percentage only tells you that percentage versus an actual.
But the long one will have the actual, and it'll
I
show
think-
you what income we've actually got that's coming in.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the important piece, and important piece, is knowing that you've got the income that's already come in through taxes, so therefore the money's there to spend, as opposed to spending it prior to the money coming in. But I think it's, at least it would be important for me to know actual on a weekly basis. So you're saying it would only be on the 1st and 15th every.
I mean, I can run you a report whenever, because the treasurer's office sends down their daily, we do the daily.
I would think every Friday you would want to sit down and spend some time and go, okay, here's where we're at on rock, tubes, whatever that may be.
Well, if I'm correct, our biggest distribution will be January, is that right? So that'll be when you get the majority of the money, so that'll give you a good starting.
Yeah. So again, I'd like for everybody to be involved in that. So when could we set that up to do, when would you like to, so that we can have a little work session, and just sit down and go over
We can do
that?
it on a Monday, or we can do it on a different day, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
What you're thinking after the 15th,
So
Yeah.
we'll wait till Linda gets in office, and then we'll sit down and go over that. Like, if you'll have some input on that, I'd like to hear that. And so after the 13th, then we'll do that. We'll just let you know.
Yep.
Want to do it in the afternoon, something like that. Okay.
I'd like to sit down too, we talk about what we have scheduled for this coming
I
year.
think that would be good. We
Yeah,
say-
because wasn't it kind of the general consensus that we were gonna back off on projects this year and concentrate more just on roads?
And I think you've made that adjustment in the sheet.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
But I think that would also be another piece. I think it would be good to have that conversation after the 13th. That way Linda knows what projects will be for 2025. All road work will be project work.
snow and the,
Same salt percentage,
Things all going
don't
well
be
with.
Jesus.
you gotta be, that's why you put them in now, that way it won't happen. If you didn't do it, well, definitely would.
Things are going well with managing
Yeah.
and making sure people are doing their jobs and getting out and getting after things.
And you've had the conversation with the leads.
I've had it with Matt so far.
Okay.
We're gonna, like I said, we'll probably get this program laid out first, you know, what we're talking about doing. And I think part of that is getting figured out what we're gonna do for 25. So we can present it to them and say, okay, here's
The project.
Here's what we got scheduled for 25.
Okay.
And go that route. So I'd like to have that done first.
All right.
Don't forget to give me some love out on Z Road. Z Road. Whole lot of the farms is that.
No.
Yeah, that's a really good road. Well maintained. Anything else? You guys do, so. Great week. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll let you know what
On the other situation.
the other situation was going on after we talk.
How about resolution 2024-32, resolution of the Jackson County, resolution of the Jackson County Ford County Commissioners closing 178th Road between W4 Road and X Road to the public travel to preserve public safety. So, you guys want to make a motion if you want to read it, the entire thing, you can.
I saw move, I read it on.
I read
You read it?
one.
Okay, yeah, I'll need to sign it. So it's been moved and seconded.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same
It
sign.
was submitted, and I read it.
From Todd.
Very good. Thank you. Finally.
What Darlene was saying is important. So he's very starting. But we decided she was a department head. Not right.
I thought that's
I'm
what it
just
was.
trying to stay on pace here. I'm not.
Nope,
not right.
I thought that's what it was.
That's what I asked him. He said she's in that pay range, but Darlene is a department head, we decided, correct?
Correct.
So. We didn't vote. But I thought she was a department head, so she's not in that range. We'll double check.
Yeah, double check on that, because I was curious about that when we.
I
when we
saw
got
that, yeah.
passed through.
Yeah.
So, check on that and see what you got. I was gonna ask you afterwards.
Next thing I got is a letter for you guys to sign, from Judge Elder, just letting him know that we don't have the money to increase your wages for 2025. What would be the best approach to put this on the reminder?
You have it in your book.
You have it in your book, okay, there you go. We'll send that to the judge and go from there.
just to give you a heads up, I think Chris and Pat, Chris called me this morning. There, I guess, used to be a firefighter of the year awarded in a banquet. I don't know anything about it, but you're familiar with it, Christie, so basically Chris wanted, it happened prior, it used to happen prior to COVID, so that's been, what, 4 years ago. He would like to reestablish that tradition, and basically names are submitted by all fire departments with why, reasons why, and then the commissioners would determine who that individual would be. I don't know who's funding though, the dinner or anything like that. That's what used to happen.
County.
Yeah,
Okay.
miscellaneous.
So we can have that conversation with him later, just to give you a heads up, that's what.
Oh,
And I think it would be a good practice. I don't know where we would have it. Oh, wait a minute, our new community building out there.
There you go. Well, speaking of firefighters, I did see in the Korte recorder that Whiting got a grant, I believe it was, for the bunker gear that they were trying to get, so.
Good for them.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, they've had some changes,
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
changes up there.
So, again, I think it would be a good thing if we can reestablish that.
If we can do that, that'd be great.
Do we have any rules on it or anything like that? Because I don't want somebody just to submit a name without, I think, a few paragraphs of what this individual has done, so that we can have some way of judging.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of a, there has to be some kind of rules or some kind of guidelines that.
Guidelines more than rules. I mean, I just, if you're gonna submit John Smith's name, I wanna know what has John Smith done over the last year.
Not because he drove the truck
Correct.
well. He drove the truck well.
Right.
See,
Typically, he's gone above and beyond
Everything goes that way.
to do something that we're establishing.
yeah, I mean, I have no problem with that. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
And the county funded it.
That's what it was in the past.
Yeah.
But, county funders got it miscellaneous in the past. I see no reason not to. You will bring that back.
You think the commissioner should be at the awards banquet then?
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I think they should.
Yeah.
Or all
I think
of
they
them?
should. One of the commissioners should be the one.
Handing
making
it out.
There you go.
Yep.
I think that's a good idea too.
That way it takes it off all the fire chiefs.
I'm going to step out for a minute. Got plenty of.
Right now.
She just got back from a week's vacation, so.
Okay, so I'm reading this. Should conceal this.
This is what was waiting.
Yeah, that's what,
This is what we
yes,
said.
and that's the negative, everything has a negative. So, we do have positive, $300,000 here under draft. As of 12/31. 225, 12800, 305 left.
We knew after today, that's what we were at, because he's in like 3,000. It was,
That was 12/23.
yeah, but they had more bills, we're trying to get those in, but they're possibly can't afford to do it.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna be probably.
Okay. So these numbers are all off.
It's just like,
Well, that's okay, I don't always paper, I just,
but yeah, you're reading it right.
okay. And what are we looking at?
Bills.
So.
Hey, how are you?
I still haven't seen anything on that.
So this one says 1,000, that's what we're at, so it's 70
You're right, you're right.
So that's a percentage.
You're right.
You are. So, let me ask you, so, let me ask you this, all those different.
Because he's off the corner like you. Yeah.
That way it wouldn't sneak up on me.
Gravel,
No, but it's just, it's still,
all those things,
it's still pending.
it's still pending.
It's still pending. I think it has to go to
Just those items.
It might be, or maybe they just want to.
We did get some.
What would be the
I think
benefit
it's
of the law?
I do
It
too.
will.
Because I looked, you know, so your name.
Okay, so it will, so the short one would maybe have 6
Oh, but
cabinets.
she's been in board since she graduated, and year after she graduated, I bet it's very.
This one is,
But, yeah, I've been watching, so I figured.
Now the long
I
road.
think that is smart.
Yeah. I don't know, I think it's kind of odd that it hasn't, nothing has, you know, this new bit hasn't been done.
Yeah.
If they want to do the service
the
after.
short, the long one would have under road machine.
I'll keep it on.
So it makes me so sad. I found that out.
I know,
All right,
I know.
that would be great. Off, where it was way, you need it, but I mean, because that's gonna change. Okay. Thank you. I think it would be good to have that conversation so that everybody's on the same page.
And that's, you can do this.
I get this.
You can do this. That's decent for them, that's all. Can you? I guess if you throw hay bales, you probably go.
I know I can throw it that far. I just didn't. In 2025, do you guys want to continue the practice of, now that Road and Bridge we're fully staffed, or haven't had any problem, are we going to continue the practice of paying a hiring bonus to a referral bonus?
Since we are not fully staffed out here again, I think that'd probably be a good idea.
Okay. I guess what I'm saying is we're not having any trouble getting applications.
We're not having trouble getting applications, he's got plenty to choose from, because you know, he's got the sign back up and everything now, so.
We can ask Scott,
Yeah,
but I think,
If he's not getting good applications, if he's not getting applications at all, then I think it'd probably be a good idea to continue that.
okay.
So, let's bring that up to him and ask him if, what his application pool looks like. If that's still working.
It was,
You have the,
No, yeah, no. He had, he told me he got one.
planning commission.
He's back.
Rules and regulations. No, that'll come down to 10. Do you have the new rules and regulations for the planning commission? Has that been submitted? Do you have that?
I have an email.
Okay, that's all I have too. With Scott Brenner.
Did you bring that one?
No, I didn't know if we're working on that today or not. Because it says in 2024.
All right, I got a dumb question. Under, the sheriffs, and I think it would be Department of Detention, what is, Advanced Corrections Healthcare, Corrections Prisoner Medical Coaching?
Oh, because they took that guy from that company, so we, I think that's another
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that makes sense. I was trying to figure out if they were poaching the jail or what. Okay, all right, that, okay, thank you.
Good question. How far over is Amy gonna be at the court? Do you,
64,000.
and she has till the 15th to submit everything from '24?
But I'm not gonna do prior year. So anything that comes out of 25 is 25,000.
Okay. So
Yeah, I don't-
as
I
of
just
tomorrow
figured that-
will be the last.
Yes, okay.
And you think it's gonna be in that range of 60?
63 to 65.
Would you be able to run whoever wants, but at least me, the miscellaneous and commissioners, and the, I always have a lack of word for the, emergency fund, that's not what we call it.
Risk
Risk
management.
Risk management.
Thank you.
So just the two of them?
3.
What do you think the reason
Oh,
is?
you want the commissioners, the county miscellaneous,
And
and
risk management.
What do you think the reason is that the court is so far over? I know sync is one, but
Well,
that was
it's
a
all
10,000.
the old bills, because she told
Okay.
everybody to get everything in, but
Okay.
she wasn't doing that, so,
Well, that one sync was like 10, almost 10 grand.
yeah, and then we got another one for.
Oh, another sync.
Dan, didn't you say that you thought possibly, the new attorney will be down to maybe ask for a pay raise and,
I had heard grumblings that the new county attorney was.
I don't know that they're grumblings, I
Well,
think
okay,
it's
okay,
just,
Steve.
just an opportunity.
Yeah,
Because that's my impression, that she's gonna ask for a pay raise for both her and her assistant.
right.
And that would be, we would be able to use the money that we were gonna pay Kevin Hill.
50-some thousand. Now, I grumbled is probably not the right word.
So can I jump in?
Hello.
Grumblings is not the correct statement.
Well, I would
Inquiry.
say,
Inquiry.
there's not money, so she wants that, she needs to raise more in the budget.
Right.
So that's all they're looking for. And I just think-
Merry Christmas.
Good,
Good.
yes.
You're still upright and motivating, so it must have been good.
Huh?
You're still upright and motivating, so it must have been good.
It's surviving.
Started feeling like a person again on Saturday. That trip to California really.
Oh, did you know?
We did, we left last Friday and got back in enough time to drive home, unload the car, change your Christmas Eve service, and make it to church. We had so many flight delays, it was crazy.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
It was insane.
You weren't on American, were you?
No, Southwest.
Because they had that shut down for an hour, what was it, Christmas Eve morning? And it just totally blew everything for the whole day. They said there was like over 1,000 flights canceled because of that, and they never really said why.
Yeah.
It was a problem, some kind of a technical issue.
Oh, see, we had, we were flying into Ontario, which is California, and it has so much fog. On that Friday that we were flying in, we were delayed 3 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours was sitting on the plane on the
Yeah.
tarmac waiting for it to
Oh,
go.
His were delayed 4 hours flying from Corpus to Dallas to Tulsa. So, because of
So
weather.
is she that or she didn't?
I thought we decided she was a department head.
We did because we raised Pat up to be a department head the same as she was.
Yes, that's correct. Pat is on the same scale. I might want to revisit that.
He has it on his pay plan, I'm not sure that it's there, but I say we decide what she is.
I thought we decided she was a department
I
head.
do too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So,
Go ahead.
so the county attorney called me, I had coffee with her last week.
Yeah.
She wanted to meet up, and so we had coffee and stuff. She went on what my expectations were, and I said, I'm new like you, and I said, you know, you're elected official, so you kind of do your thing. I said, the one thing I would say probably as a commissioner would say to you is, you know, you need to work within your budget. You know, stay within your budget. And she said to me, Amy has given me the budget, and she said, I think I can work within that budget without any problem.
Right, and that was the
That was
same
the impression I
conversation.
got this morning.
Is what she had said, you know, she did talk about having interns to work Monday court cases, but, you know, she thought, her thing was, she thought she could stay within her budget. That was our conversation, like I
Yeah.
said, we just had big coffee just to meet and.
Same thing, that's what we did. And,
So,
yeah,
Yeah.
I think what, there could be some money available within her budget. Well, we'll have to look at it, because I don't know if we budgeted for Kevin Hill for 2025.
No.
We
Well,
need to
yeah,
look at that.
I think we did,
That's
because
what I
that was
think
clear
we
back,
do.
that was clear back then, yeah, I think we should.
I didn't think we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
So I think because she's picking up all the same cases and you don't have to have him, there may be some money available for immediate raises if that's what she chooses to do, if the money's within her budget.
Yeah.
So I said I didn't have a problem with that, but it would take a, you know,
Well, Amy's probably due for a raise.
yeah.
Hi guys, how are you?
How are you?
How are you?
Good, I'm
Wait,
waiting on Chris
Chris
Gordon.
can get here.
He's usually pretty prompt, but
He'll be here. But,
did you get a picture of your little baby?
huh?
She reached out to you.
She's grown.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, she's adorable. Oh, she's.
He's, really kind of-
It was just a little dark.
Oh, is that?
So you came early.
Yeah. Better than 7:30, so I was in here, So,
Okay, Mary said that for Kevin Hill, she left in Donna Flowers part-time, so we wasn't there.
right.
That's about it. So that would be the two.
So, we did budget for that next year. I didn't think we did.
Yeah, 'cause we didn't know back then we were doing the budget, what you were gonna do, so.
So that's when the 50-some.
No.
No,
And it 50-some?
39,000.
Oh, yeah, but he has to
So
pay.
there's some flexibility there.
You have to pay Capers because Caper came back and
Well,
stated.
I'm not looking at benefits, because we're
Okay.
gonna have his benefits just.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Looks like there's gonna be some money.
I'll be done with it. You wanna wait till Chris gets here, Pat,
I
or?
just texted him, he's usually very prompt.
Yeah, if you wanna wait, we're flexible.
I'll see if he answers you back.
We'll continue doing bills.
If he answers you back, tell him to text and drive.
What did we get in the 0.4%? You said we got a little bit of money back in on that. We'll carry over.
That should be pretty big. February, March. It was on the 25th, is when everybody has to submit their, or remit their sales tax for next summer.
Did you get sales tax for the month?
Yeah.
I contributed to it. Or I should say my wife did, out of foster four.
Oh, did you buy a new vehicle?
She did.
Did she?
We did.
Yeah. What'd you get?
She bought her a Bronco.
Oh, yeah.
You like that?
They're good looking.
Yeah.
I like
I just need to get into the new Broncos.
She has never been excited about a vehicle, and she was super excited.
Oh, that's good.
She wanted something with all-wheel drive and big enough to get a grandchild in the backseat.
That's important.
Yes.
Important. And I recognize that, Christie.
That's very important.
No, so I just said, sure, honey.
Just wait till you have to put 3 car seats in the back seat.
Yeah.
Yep. We make it through all those years without car seats?
I don't know. They're a
Laying
pain
up
in
the
the
back
butt.
window, laying on the
Standing
floor.
by your folks while they were driving. They're a pain.
I just understand that we're still alive.
Yeah.
Sitting on the dad's lap, holding beer.
There you go.
You used to be able to have open containers. Back to what, 60 maybe? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
60, maybe early 70,
Maybe.
which is,
So there's Rob, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, so you will have conversation with him. Hello. Hey, how are you? As we're in our meeting, but would you mind if I put you on speaker so that the other guys can hear? Okay, hang on. All right, you're on speaker.
Order up.
Rob. So, yeah, and Linda takes office next month, in 2 weeks. So the 13th she'll be sworn in or sworn out, one of the two. So anyway, but she's in the room. If you want to come up, you can listen. This is Rob Hartwell, our lobbyist from Washington D.C., from Virginia. Yeah. I know that's important, Rob. So go ahead, Linda's up here, so go ahead.
Yes.
Which are actually pretty good. One of the things that happened is I brought on to my consulting team a former Trump administration deputy assistant secretary for transportation. And
Okay.
he was an assistant secretary for legislative affairs, so he worked with all the members of the transportation committees and appropriations committees. And it just, I said, well, where can I help? And then immediately thought of you guys, because you're the number one priority, US 75 in Kansas. And what I wanted to do was find out, because, I mean, right now I'm waiting for them to come back. Either the meeting gets started on the 3rd, and then the site activity doesn't really start until after the inauguration. So
Okay.
there's not a month for all those, not much going on. I want to be part of, with lots to Jackson County.
Okay.
And since you have the highest transportation project in Kansas, maybe if it were for you to ask, your state legislature, legislators, and I think you already started the process. What do they need to get money flowing? And does KDOT need anything from Washington? Because, Senator Brenner is on that transportation subcommittee, the chairman of it.
Okay.
How it's reorganized, they go back and they switch committee assignments and subcommittees.
So just, I'm gonna interrupt you just for a minute, Rob. So maybe what we could do is have, Mark could reach out to the head of KDOT through an email and just say, look, we don't wanna step on your toes, but would it be beneficial if our lobbyists asked for some of this money to help fund this project slated for 29 or 30, the 2029 or 2030, just to make sure that we're not stepping on his toes.
Yep, I can do that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Purchasing some rights and ways that they need here,
And Sean Wilcott, representative who was in last week, was on board with, watching it, helping support it, making sure that this happens, do anything he can, so. But yeah, I think Mark reaching
Yep,
out.
I'll reach out to Mr. Reed and Secretary Reed and see if I can get something back from him. I'm also going to reach out to the engineer on the project. Well, he's not the lead engineer, but he's the district engineer, and see what we got going there. And because we want to be sure to keep it to the front burner so that it doesn't get pushed back. So.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, just politely remind them that, it's their top funding issue and the highway issue for the future, and what can Jackson County do to help them get those going?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, good, good.
So do you want to bring Linda up to speed on where we are on the proposed legislation for January?
Yeah, so Senator Marshall, and they've been working with his staff for, almost a year and a half now. And Bill Bursing, the staff member that was working with us on that, had drafted legislation. We went back and said, well, this is how we would do it. So we drafted legislation to include Jackson County in payment of moving taxes, which usually goes to gas department and interior lands, that, where the local governments don't receive any revenue from, and they're basically a tax loss on the books, no revenue coming in to cover, all this open space, all this land. Well, Jackson County, we got the numbers, the staff were very hard that came up with numbers on how much tax revenue is being lost because of property, casino and business activities and lands that were being taxed. And also, the fact that Jackson County is providing substantial services, including, policing, the jail, the courthouse, and then those taxes are increasing. So it turned out that Jackson County, about 30% of its budget, basically, was lost to taxes or to services provided to the final property. And we came up with a report, it basically said that any county in the United States that is distressed because of Native Americans' impact on county revenues and taxes, that if they exceed 20% of the county's budget, that they would be eligible to be included in the taxes, native taxes pilot, which is funded on interior. And so Senator Marshall made the idea, especially with that big tax, it's going to cost a lot of money. And so we have legislation around it. And he's supposed to introduce it when we get back in session from end of January.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do it to compare tax savings until it works from Jackson County, works Congress. Tracy Dean, and then Jack Moran staff, just so they all agree to support the legislation. And then we'll work it through the committees that Mr. Dean referred to. And then when we get it passed this year, nothing will happen before September or October.
Right.
But getting it introduced and getting it in so passage and inclusion, whatever
Yep.
is our strategy.
That's good. Yeah, it's going to be huge.
And will you try to recruit some Democratic support? Yeah. That was good where I was heading. Perfect. I think it's important.
It's very narrow, the majority that they have, so they
Okay.
Yeah, I think Sharice Davis would probably be a supporter of this, because I just think that once she understands what we're asking, and it's really nothing more than to replace the lost revenues.
Do you think, Rob, it would be beneficial if Mark reached out either through, as a commissioner or in conjunction with the Jackson County Democratic Party, to just say, hey, I want you to know that this is a bipartisan bill that's coming up, start to look for it? Do you think there's some benefit in that?
Yeah, I don't think so, especially, you know, the congresswoman and you get her support, that would be great. I'll be on with you.
Yeah, I've met her before, talked to her, so I will reach out to her and, see what we do.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And Senator Rosen did, he shared the information about what Potawatomi were trying to do legislatively.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the background on that.
Good.
And she said she stands with us, she'll support us. She was very concerned, that they were trying to get it around without consulting the state.
Which was eliminating.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, perfect.
Eliminated it, amends it.
Amended, yes, you're
Yeah.
right.
I mean, the scariest thing is basically saying, you know, no state law enforcement. When you've got a huge casino there and huge, it's just a huge potential for cartels or gangs or organized crime.
Yeah.
To say, hey, this is an area where we know what we do, it's true.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's why I'm reporting from Virginia.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're having really good weather. Okay. Well, enjoy the New Year's, and we'll look forward to hearing from you soon. And Mark, I'll have Mark just email you whatever he finds out with the secretary. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Okay, sorry for the wait. That was a phone call we needed to take when it came in. Come on up. How are you guys?
How are you, Sal?
Good. Seems like I just talked to you. Is that your new radio?
No, this is still my old one.
Oh, that's your old one. Okay. But the new one, you did tell me the new ones have the ability to, they record, you could push the button and you could, I was telling a guy that, former KBI officer, he goes, really? Radios do that? He goes, man, that'd be really beneficial.
It's handy when you can't hear very good.
Right. Or you're in the middle of something and you want to hear. So, anyway, I kind of shared with the group here this morning, I don't know what you guys were up here for, but walk us through, because I don't think any of us are familiar with this.
Probably aren't. It's been probably 5, 6, 7 years ago
Okay.
that I remember just kind of wanted to know if the commissioners would maybe want to do an award for a member on all of our fire departments.
Which would include 8
Yes,
different,
that would be
including
7, not right.
7, I'm sorry. 8 including the tribe. So it'd just be Holton and the 8 volunteers.
We could, but it's, you know,
I guess we could include tribes as a big part of what we do.
What do you guys think?
They work cooperatively with you all, especially, yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing.
but usually the fire chiefs pick out one person on their department and they write up a little essay on why they think this person deserves this award. And then they get them to me and then I bring them down and the commissioners review them and you pick who you think should get this award.
Yeah, that's great, that they have an essay, at least
Yes.
some description.
And you have a few paragraphs on there.
I mean, so that's, what's the guidelines for, is there guidelines? I mean, you don't want somebody coming in and say, well, he drove the truck or what?
No, they need to get, you know, if they run
Above
a
and
bunch of
beyond.
calls and that they do what they're supposed to do on scene. I mean, it's basically, we're trying to pinpoint on this person because they're doing such a good job.
Sure.
What is
Try-
it?
Tribes, all their officers or their firemen, they're paid, correct? They're not
They
volunteer.
are.
Yeah.
There's the difference. So I would really like to
Yeah,
hold
I
this
think
one
so.
to an
I'd
all
like to go to
volunteer.
an all volunteer.
And I think that's what we have done in the past, but, and then COVID hit and we haven't done it
So it'd be all the Jackson County
Volunteer.
funded volunteer fire departments.
Yeah, and then the commissioners would get a meal purchased, which we ordered from Boomers on the last one, and I think it was like $350.
Yeah, if we know how many people are gonna show up,
Yeah,
and
we'll
we
get
could
it.
use our new Banner Creek, facility that looks it out there. We know a guy that we could probably get a good deal on.
A free deal.
So, thoughts, questions?
I think it's a good idea. I think I'd like to see this brought back. Anything that we can do to honor our volunteer fire departments, I think it'd be a good thing.
And then we would be available to be there.
Yes.
You want us to
And you
hand the
present
award
the
out?
plaque
Yeah.
And you can read what the fire chief has put on the plaque or on the form.
Yeah,
and
right.
I think that'd be
Yeah,
good.
I think that'd be great.
We usually
I really
do
do.
it at the end of the year, and it takes me a couple of weeks to get the plaque made. So once you get the reviews in, we need a couple of weeks to get that over, put the name on the plaque.
So we're
Yeah,
just
so
looking
what would the timeline be? I
at
mean,
November, December.
The last one we did
25.
early December, but we can do it mid-November, whatever. everybody thinks is-
Well, I'm wondering about the timeline for the fire chiefs to get their nominations
I
into
usually send
us.
those out about 3 months in advance,
Okay.
because everybody's busy and
Well,
they
sure.
volunteer.
Yeah.
And I say, okay, I need these back by this date.
Okay,
And some of them don't fill it out.
So
or-
you would take responsibility of
Yes,
doing that.
yeah.
Perfect. You can get us a list.
And I'll just give you
I like that.
okay.
ones that are turned in, and you review them, and if you have any questions, you can ask me about them. or-
So, why don't you give us some time to check, and we'll look at the schedule, and then we'll pick a date. Preferably, probably a weekend.
We usually did them during the week,
You did.
yes,
Yeah, you
Monday through Friday.
That would be even better. So
Yes.
Wednesday nights, typically there's not anything going on in schools or school events. So we can check with Kurt. We could go ahead and get that on the books and get it planned.
It's just something good for the volunteer guys.
It's good morale.
You take
Yes.
one guy to make him feel good.
I think it's great.
No, and I think, like I said, I think
I didn't
anything
know
that we
they
can
did
do to honor our volunteers, our volunteer fire departments is a great thing to do. So I'm 100% behind this.
And I think one year, the commissioners picked 2 people because of what they had on the paper, and they couldn't vote on out, so I had to get 2 plaques that year.
Sure.
I don't mind paying for 2 plaques if you guys make a decision either way. One plaque is what we usually went with, but
Okay.
if you see something that you kind
Okay.
of like, we will go with
Great.
We will do that.
Sounds good to me.
that. And,
volunteers a key word.
yeah.
Hear that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a note here real quick that we,
When are they on the plaque? I usually would get them probably in August or September. And then, the commissioners should get them like month to kind of review or whatever, and then get the plaque over, which we get a couple of weeks.
Applications in September.
I think that's what I usually get every first of October. But I'll send out a mass email to every fire chief and say, okay, this is what we're doing, and we've got some fire chiefs that already want whatever. We have them on.
I think the sooner we get it on the books and they know, they can plan.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to Kurt and we'll see late November, early December, what works in there.
Or if October works for you too, that's fine too.
Well, and I was just gonna say, probably, I would almost go for the month of November sometime. The reason being is you get towards the end, you got Thanksgiving, and then people are going to Christmas
Yeah.
parties and Christmas things, so maybe we ought to make it towards the 1st of November, I would think.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That would be good too.
That way, it takes a little pressure off everybody trying to get to it.
Yeah.
Just so long as you leave yourself enough time to get the
Yeah.
nominations in.
And if I don't get them from one of the fire chiefs, I make a phone call and say, hey, do you want to put somebody in the department, you want to write something that's going to get it to me by this date? And there's been a few departments that have not wrote up anything, and that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and they may not have anybody that's,
Yeah.
they feel like, you know.
Yep.
Sounds good.
That sounds good. I'll take a plum W.
Good.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
Chris and I were talking last week. Have you heard anything on the solar thing? Or are you waiting on that?
Regulation, we just finished up regulation there. It's gone to zoning and planning, so it involves their work. They'll handle it from here, and they'll have, if they have suggestions or changes, they'll kick it back to us, and that's how the process will work. People want to lobby for or against or around with their hair on fire, how should they go to the zoning and planning?
Is there anybody that's watching what we need for the fire department?
Yeah, resiliency program. That should be in place, where we've all talked about, where training, special equipment, things like that. And now that was recommended.
That's not something that we have done, though.
No, that's something that was recommended by a engineer who deals with this, who presented it to us through me. That a resiliency program that will identify down the road the training, the equipment, et cetera, et cetera.
We're not gonna be the ones to do, I'm not.
No.
It's gonna be up to
Set up.
you to determine
Yeah.
what you need and then present that to us. The only thing we'll be able to do is if this process happens, if the zoning goes through, then there'll be, an active conversation between whatever company is wanting to come in about a payment in lieu of taxes or a donation. That's where that money would come from to fund whatever you need. I just wanted to make sure that
Yeah, no,
people
right.
weren't thinking we were gonna come up
No,
with
no,
these.
no.
Right.
These
Yeah,
things. That's
it's a bucket, another bucket.
So that would be
the whole
something
being
that
one bucket.
you two would probably get together
A
on
session.
and start, looking at what you would need, how you would need to do it, so on and so forth.
Is there somebody that can help with that? Because I don't know, you can read the internet, you can research, you can.
I would rely on your state fire marshal, or other counties. There are several counties across the state, just the state of Kansas, that already have large scale solar up and running or in the process.
You know which counties they are?
Douglas. Douglas is
Yeah.
one, Johnson,
Hold up
Douglas,
here,
Kingman County, I'm not sure about Sedgwick.
There's one,
Stanton County right now.
Okay.
And they've been operating for a while, and they're new into it.
they're all gonna be fairly new into it, but they would have information on what they're, or at least be able to put you in contact with fire departments. that could-
Stanton County started operation in 2020.
Stanton.
I would check that fire marshal, see if they have some, thoughts on what you're gonna need.
I asked them, and she didn't have anything, she was letting me know she found somebody to do. And then I
There's-
asked with the fire chief's conference, and none of the fire chiefs.
There's also one in Ford County that's scheduled to begin construction in 2025.
I guess if I were looking at it from a fire situation, you can find out what the materials are made of and what we need to fight that fire with.
I'm not even seeing the direct chemicals.
Well, now, one thing you have to understand too is that in our regulations that we sent over, there will be no battery storage on site. Then it will all be inverters going straight to the line.
So we won't have to worry about any of the batteries.
No
That's correct.
Nope.
No battery.
It's just gonna be metal.
Glass, metal, aluminum, is believed, maybe some silver. So,
I think a lot of this will come out in the meetings over there too, and you'll have contacts through the zoning and planning meetings of, sort of the company that is going to, if it ends up being NextEra. You can reach out to them, they're gonna have to provide a materials list of what is involved. This isn't the first one. I can put you in contact with Lynn County, Iowa. They have, a large scale, and NextEra is the one that built theirs. You can talk to their volunteers out in the middle of the country, just like, where this is proposed. So you can reach out to them. The other things though, it's not necessarily just fighting a fire and what you would need, that's a piece of it. But what are you going to need as far as larger equipment, bigger building, those types of things? You know, if I were in your shoes and I was looking at this, I would be trying to figure out, if I have a grass fire, what do I need to put out a grass fire? To prevent something that's gonna be potentially a campfire. And so I'd be looking at equipment. You may determine that you're gonna need somebody full-time there, 24/7, 8 and individual. I don't know. You may need a bigger building. I would envision you're gonna need a bigger building. You're gonna need, for sure, respirators. You may or may not already have that. But those types of things to prevent, because grass fires are gonna be the biggest thing. And then those could catch, you know, I don't know what these panels, you know, whether they'll catch on fire, how that works. But grass fires, what are you gonna need if there's a large grass fire? We'll say north of or south of or west of or wind. How do you put that out before it gets to something like that? That type of thing.
That was one of the biggest discussions we had at the last fire meeting a couple weeks ago, was if we do end up with the farm involved, what kind of hazmat? And because we, as a county, we have a very small amount of hazmat materials at our availability.
Right, so you would need to increase that.
Yeah, and I was just curious if anybody, make sure somebody please think of that.
Yeah, we're, like I said, we're thinking of that, and that was one of the reasons that number one, I was adding from the start, there will be no batteries on site. None whatsoever. That's the biggest key right there, otherwise just electric fire.
Yeah.
But that, to me, will be your responsibility to maybe come to some of those meetings, some of your other, and engage in conversation with whoever is opposing or asking for a special use permit. Okay, I need to see prior to this happening, what are these made of and what does it take to fight them? They're going to be able to give you the information because it's beneficial for them that they have a fire department that can handle whatever happens.
It's better to stay in the watches.
And that may be,
Yeah,
Chris,
100%.
for you,
All right, thank you.
being probably the number one in there, is go to one or, you know, the first or second, or whenever they have the first public meeting at zoning and planning, and say, hey, this is who I am, this is all I'm asking, is there information out there? And can you get that information or put me in contact with the right individual? More likely it's going to be putting you in contact with the right individuals to give you a list of what those are.
And that all happens in the zoning and
And that all happens across all.
Would it meet every 3 months?
You know, they're meeting as needed, but every month they've been meeting.
And there will be more meetings for work sessions and everything to get acclimated and familiarized with what we said across the board.
But they may not have public comment on zoning or on regulations for 2 months, 3 months, I don't know, that's up to them. But once they start having public comments, then that's when you would want to go.
How do I find their schedule for their meeting? Is it?
They published it in the bulletin board, you get the bulletin board.
I believe that you could probably go upstairs and ask Kate to be put on the list to be notified of when their meeting is.
Yeah, she would just send you an email.
Yep.
You can do that today, if she's one of her staff to do that for you.
Just don't want to get left out.
Right.
No, 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 we don't want you to
And
get
the
left out.
funding behind that will come when we negotiate with whatever company it is for a donation. And so, you know, that first donation will be a large one because you need $300,000 worth of equipment. I don't, you know, I'm just using numbers. But there are also other things, you know, it has been brought to me, because I represent that area, that the city of Delia needs new water line numbers. That's also something that we looked at that could be paid out of that donation, you know, on a one-time basis to improve that, because you gotta have good water in the city, those types of things.
It's always something.
Oh, yeah, yep.
It is. So, Is that everything you guys had then? Okay, I'm gonna walk out with Chris and
Sure.
walk upstairs with him, and then I'll be back.
That'll work.
Ah,
Thank you. Thank you.
yep, take care.
You guys have a good New Year's.
You guys have a happy New Year too.
Yeah. At least this, at least the fireworks off, it's still raining.
Such a possibility. Oh, man. No, by the time I dragged it home, dragged it over there. By the time I dragged it home and dragged it over there.
One of our kids is sick, and he's sick, he's got cold, and the house is not running now, so I like we, yeah, dealing.
Get it done now.
So is the highway expansion, extended this year too?
No.
I thought it was like 27.
29 and 30. So I'm surprised they started off. So, next Monday, we meet in the building,
Yes.
8 o'clock. And then there's breakfast at 8:30.
No, the breakfast is until the
16?
18th.
18. Okay. So, rather than come right back here. Okay. 18th is all a Saturday. Sure, Sunday. 16?
This is Saturday morning, it's the 16th.
Say, it is the 16th? 18th?
What's the Saturday?
18th
Breakfast?
Yeah, it's the 18th.
at 8:30.
I need direction on that. If you want to stick on the quick plan, that's fine, but I usually want to cover it.
So where on here are the department heads listed?
That's just Scott's fee.
Right. But how do we determine what the department heads
Well, I'm assuming the superintendent,
are? So that you're saying she would be topped out, that's it, right?
but is she a department head or is she a superintendent?
Well, I thought we determined she was a department head. Yeah. So does the wording need changed on here?
Well, are you gonna let her bump up where other department heads stand? You get what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Where is how do we determine the department head's pay? That's what I'm asking. Because I don't see that on here anywhere, so I didn't know if there was guidelines for how that is paid. Or is that why?
I don't think we have anything broken down by department heads broken down, we just have. I think we just have the payroll.
should be making more than some department heads.
Because it's down here twice. Environmental Services Superintendent on the first page, and Environmental Superintendent Special, or Environmental Superintendent on the second page with two different scales. So. We need to get that figured out, because like I said, I could have sworn.
I know that we put her and Pat the same wage.
Yes.
You guys decided she was a department head, and she
Yes.
was making more than that department head.
Because we raised Pat up.
Right.
So what's his title? Department head?
And how do we, so I guess that's what I'm asking, is there a pay
I guess-
rate or pay scale for department heads?
I guess I don't understand that one. To me, Scott was the department head over the departments. Okay?
Yes.
Public Works Director overall.
Public Works Director is what his.
Yeah.
I
Which
will.
is the department head. And then you have like, the building department head, then you have the offices that all have a department head. And Scott would be the department head over, I'm assuming all of the ones he sees.
I don't think he showed.
We need to get an answer. So if he's not, was he have any?
I didn't think,
Wait, when did he have court?
today. At 9.
Oh, maybe we should not dump him in.
Yeah.
But we still need, I want an answer on that. So we need to call in, do an executive session.
On the resolution. No, something else.
What we're talking about this bill.
Okay. But he also has a resolution too, dated 24.
That's one who's passed for the.
No,
I had to fix that.
that was closing
That
this
was for the
resolution.
maintenance roads, and I didn't realize there was a hearing, so I waited too long to
Oh.
talk to you about it.
There is a hearing.
I didn't think there was, because I thought we didn't have.
It says it's a hearing on that resolution.
I thought his email said there was.
His email said there was not.
Well, yeah, no, that was on your roof closing. But there was no,
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah, you're
no.
right, resolution, there is no public hearing for the
Right.
regulation.
right,
Okay.
Not
this is
for
a
the-
different one, this
that's
is now
different.
the maintenance roads.
Okay.
Right, that we declared all the roads.
And
We have to have a public hearing on
We need to figure out and get this pay thing straightened out too.
it. With Scott,
Yeah.
call him.
Well, I mean, as far as, I had thought that we had said that she was a department head and has a department head, and we raised them up the same. So if she's a department head, then she's not the environmental services superintendent, because there's two different pay scales on there for environmental services superintendent.
She's the superintendent.
But I thought we had determined that she's a department head, same as Pat.
Is there a definition? in
That's
there?
what I was asking, I don't know that there is. But I thought we determined that earlier.
What's the difference between a department head and a superintendent? I mean,
Well, the department head, when we raised Pat up to that scale, both of them are department heads.
Pat.
Pat Ricker,
Yeah.
Okay.
or Pat.
Okay, we got
Yeah,
two.
we'll get to. I thought that we had determined that the department heads were gonna stay about the same rate, correct? Is that what we had, I thought that's what we had determined.
So
Well,
she's.
that's when we raised
Going
Pat
back.
up. We raised Pat up
Yes.
because you identified that isn't he a department head?
Yes.
And we said, yes, he is. Well, he should be at that level, of which we raised him up to that level the first part of last year. So whatever his title is, it identifies payroll-wise the same as hers.
And I am not trying by any way to.
No, no, no.
No,
And
we
I'm looking
don't.
here, and what I'm saying is there's two different, for environmental services superintendent, on the front page, it's pay scale from 2530 to 2630. Okay?
Right.
On the second page, environmental services superintendent is $20.
Why is that?
That's what
I've
I'm,
never-
well,
Well,
that's
see,
what I'm trying to
I
figure
thought that's
out.
what she started out, but then you guys decided to make her a department head.
That's last year's.
I understand that, well, it's 2024, but
The other
I
one's
understand that.
23,
I just wanna know where to put her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Okay, so
environmental
that's
services
23.
superintendent, the second one shouldn't even be on there for that. I mean,
See, I don't know if that's what she had started at, and then she was decided that she would be a department head.
You're right, it's.
I don't know that there's a distinction between a department head and a superintendent. I mean, Linda was a superintendent. I mean, what's it saying there, you know, about where Linda was?
Hasn't been budgeted.
No, I don't think we will. Because we raised her like we would a department head for next year.
Pay $1,000 more, $1,000 50 cents an hour,
Let's see.
2,000
We
a
have
year.
her at. She was at 25.
Hey, are you anywhere near the courthouse again? Yep, lunch running through.
Did we say Todd wasn't coming in today?
I guess he's
Did
not.
we have Pop County today? Is that the day? we
I think
talked
it was
about?
the Todd County.
9
He
o'clock.
wouldn't get done till like
But he
10
said
or
if
so.
we needed him, we could.
Yeah. So I think we need to, when we get Scott back here, I think we need to, get that determined.
Okay, Darlene was at 2580, which was department head pay. And then for 25,
Hello?
for 211.
Now, how did that,
Did the dogs check it first?
Well, no, but I shook it, so I think it'll be okay. We had raised her to
Thank you.
2683.
I texted Todd to see if he had time for a phone call.
We've already raised her to 2683.
No, that's what she'll go to, well, that's what she'll go to this next pay period. Because that was the raise on top of the department head pay. So I just need to know if I need to classify her as a superintendent and raise this up more, which is gonna put her above some department heads, or what you wanna do.
We're not gonna do that.
Okay.
You're saying 4% increase.
Okay, let me ask this, is that supposed to be with the increase on it? If it is, it keeps her under department heads.
That's the question. But he wouldn't.
But
It
he
shouldn't
has
be.
a pay scale for her, and I didn't realize that.
that's not 4%.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, if we,
We'll ask. He'll be here. He's out the office. So he's running.
That's less than 2%. No, right at 2%.
well, we budgeted 2683 for next year's budget, because we budgeted her as,
The 4% increase.
right, as the department head that she was at.
2683,
Yes.
versus, that's 2630.
Right, but that's an increase, so then if he wants the 4% increase.
On
that's
top
We
of
would not have budgeted for that.
Yeah. And next year gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Would those see questions or have any questions?
Did you figure out what this statement was? About ants?
Yes,
The ant doesn't.
it should
it's
say
supposed to say
swap
and.
it out and they will pay.
Oh, I thought ants were gonna pay.
That's what we were saying, yeah.
Okay.
We're all about the speeds. So I guess what we're saying is she can either have the 4% or she can have this, but not both.
Yeah, I want to hear why this was filled out.
Okay.
4% and more increase.
I'm gonna have a resolution for you, I can give you this one, I'll show you
Okay.
this issue.
Risk management, and that's what's left. Okay. Thank you.
What was that?
You want to do risk management, so it's-
Yeah, what we're talking about here.
and we do have money, but Lisa said it to get the innovation, otherwise it shouldn't be the 4%.
Okay.
So I don't have enough for it.
Okay.
How soon does the state kick that back from sales tax, you know, like retailers remit the sales tax to,
I can
on
tell
the
that's
25th of the month, it goes to the state, how soon do they kick that back to the county?
It's like a month behind.
Okay,
Hi,
That's what
Todd.
it is.
that's not
Are you
fair.
driving?
No, it's not.
I always hate those days, huh? Here we go. It was setting up and
Okay.
everything.
Do you have, do you mind if I put you on speaker and we have a question for you? All right. All right, just a second. All right, Todd,
Do we need to go into executive session for this?
yeah, question has to do with matters of personnel. So we're going to go into executive session to do this.
Okay, I move we go into executive session for purposes of personnel matters, non-elected personnel for a period of
5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting at 10:54 for 5 minutes to reopen this location. Clerk, attorneys, and the attorney and the commissioner.
And Road and Bridge
And Scott, when he
Superintendent,
comes
or
in.
Public Works Director if he gets here.
Second.
Move and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Maybe we should do it.
I didn't think
Okay, so we put that to bed.
There was on some.
You did not remember it.
We're good.
That big long.
Anything else?
You think we need?
You are free to go again. Till we call again. Which we want, I don't think. Oh, I talked to, visited with Chris down in, we walked out there, visited with him a little bit about his situation down there. I think he came to the realization that maybe he needed to check on zoning before he did anything else. So, he's gonna do that.
Good.
Yeah. So I think the majority of his operation is gonna be run inside the city limits of Delia.
Okay.
Okay?
Works for me.
But I told him if he has questions in the future, he says the blade operator narrowed that road up. I said, but blade operator wouldn't shorten the tube.
Right. Sure. Just FYI, Jerry Gay, the operator down there in Delia, his daughter, I guess, was in an accident and at work. Haven't heard details, but apparently 20% of her body got burned. Got her burned something like that.
How old was she?
I'm not sure. She'd have to be at working age.
Where does she work?
Again, I didn't have details. I didn't heard that she got hurt at work. From something in the body.
Okay.
That's too bad.
Not sure how bad.
That's too bad.
Give her your thoughts.
Yep.
Yes,
No, absolutely.
will do.
22nd.
And keep us up on what's going on there, 'cause that's,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Entertain a motion to approve the minutes from December 23.
I so moved.
Second.
Changes.
What changes?
Moved and seconded.
No hands.
Moved and seconded to approve the December 23rd minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. And with that, my notes on here, there's nothing else on the agenda. And by the way, no action taken outside of executive session. Took care of there's gonna be a letter sent to the landowners, resolution. I don't know what day everybody's getting.
Man, 8 o'clock next Monday,
Yes.
ribbon cutting.
This is the B and G stuff that was laid out for Christmas.
Okay, go ahead.
That was laid out with, we received these for Christmas, it's just like a Christmas.
Card.
Yeah. So, we want to recycle it.
I don't see any, I don't have any other notes. Mark, you have anything?
I can't think of anything, no.
Dan? No. Kristen? Entertain a motion to adjourn?
So move, second, teacher.
You did. Move second to adjourn, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right.